Mimi dhani mimi ni Naslin. Tulia kabisa. And anytime you hear the jazz,
you know, it's all roads lead to Uhuru Gardens this weekend.
That
tomorrow, Saturday, the 4th of November,
for the Safaricom International Jazz Festival. The only time you get to hear music that does what?
Music that moves you.
2,000 bob are the tickets.
That is the sound of a Lunawad there.
And there are no VIP tickets.
No VIP because everybody at the Safaricom International Jazz Festival is
a VIP.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have your tickets?
By the way, we're going to be giving out 2 pairs of tickets later today.
To those of you who will tell us what moves them, what just makes them feel that, you know.
Absolutely. In the meantime, joining us in the studio, someone who knows a thing or two about jazz, thanks to her husband, Jacob.
Just Kavuda. Coach Kavuda.
Coach Kavuda, yes. The tough coach.
Anybody who gets on that Safaricom International Jazz Festival stage must have something to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Coach Kavuda, welcome to Hot 96.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
So you literally, you guys were jamming last night with Aluniwad and Kavita Shah, weren't you?
We were. Yeah, Jazz Week was great. It was great. It's a fantastic musician.
Tell us, as a coach, how were they?
Fantastic. People who've spent time getting to know them and have come to bring a show. So it was good. Yeah.
Look, we've been talking about Aluniwad and Kavita Shah all week long. So you tell us, those of our listeners who don't know about Aluniwad,
yes,
tell us a little bit about him.
So Aluniwad is a Senegalese bass player. Began playing bass as a young boy. With his dad was a musician as well, so he began to play jazz with his dad and actually music with his dad. And as he grew up, he got really good and he got pulled up to play jazz bass for Ismailo. Yeah.
I was telling Jalas,
yes,
one of the best, huh?
Yes.
One of the
Does
greatest.
Jalas know Ismailo?
He just
Jalas?
he nodded, but he just nodded.
Truth be told.
Yes, truth be told. Tell us the truth.
Truth be told.
Yes.
Tony Nyadundo.
Yes.
You know Tony Nyadundo?
Does he play with Ismailo?
Do you know Musa Jakadala?
Jacka, what now?
They would match Aluniwad dollar to dollar.
And it's true.
Yes.
Very good musicians as well.
Very good musicians.
And in their style of music, very good.
So's Camaro.
So let's talk about jazz.
Let's talk
more.
when Safaricom or Hangla International will come and Mugidi,
then we can talk about
that.
So he began playing jazz a long time ago, and then, but as his skill has gotten better, he's played with musicians such as Marcus Miller. On the road with Marcus Miller for a while.
Yeah.
So for us at the festival, then there's Kavita. Kavita is a American-born Indian. So her parents are from India, but she was born in New York, and is doing also great things. A young musician, also playing with great musicians like Leonor Lueke. So we're looking forward to seeing what they bring. But one of the things for us is that there must always be Kenyans.
Good, and I'll get to that in a moment.
Yes.
Because the Safaricom International Jazz Festival is now in its 4th, 5th year?
We're coming into year 5.
Year 5 this year.
5, yeah.
How do you guys pick the headline acts?
So it's a factor of different things. One, we want to get musicians who will resonate with our Kenyan audiences, because jazz as a genre is still sort of, I guess, in its young stages. So we want to build into the momentum. So there's a factor of cost, of course. There's a factor of availability. And then what we feel so Safaricom has a jazz panel put together, headed by Bob, and we pick and we look and see, because we get applications from musicians now from all over the world who want to come and play in Kenya. Because we have one of the biggest festivals the biggest festival in this region. Our numbers, maybe, I think even the South Africans are looking to us and saying, how are you doing what it is you're doing with jazz?
Is that right?
Yeah, because, and we've been consistent. That's one of the things that has happened. We've been consistently doing it for 5 years. So for the headliners, we usually applications cost, and we hope that their music will connect with the Kenyan musicians. So as a result, we've been lucky to bring musicians such as Richard Bonner, Jonathan Butler, Branford Marsalis, and then of course David Sanborn last year.
Jonathan Butler is one of my favorite.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah,
and David Sanborn too.
Yeah.
Some of the Kenyan acts, who do they include?
So Kenyan acts, so I guess I'll talk a little bit of how we pick them. We do a live audition once a year. and people come and play. So they come and it's a live audition. They come, do their stuff, 2 songs, and we pick from there. So the Kenyan musicians include people such as Edward Parsin and the Different Faces, Swahili Jazz Band, which is Juma Tutu. There is Afro Sync. There is Eddie Gray. There is Jacob, who you mentioned earlier. So
These are Kenyans.
It's a Kenyan.
Okay.
Even Jacob.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we've done, but they do an
Mukimaliza
audition.
mtaniambia.
Yeah, but they will call you.
Okay,
We'll call you.
once you're done.
Or Hangla Festival next year.
Yeah. So and the musicians have gotten younger. So like last year we had a group of great, fantastic musicians, horn players called the Nairobi Horn Project. So who've come up, 3 horn players, Shamsi Music, Mwai and The Truth. And so those are the musicians we've had. Yeah.
And this year?
So this year we have 2 bands. We picked 2 bands. One band is called The Limericks, and they're sort of a melting pot of African musicians. So they have some Madagascans, Ugandans, and some Kenyans who came together, who live in Kenya, who play jazz music. So they're one of the bands. And the other band is a great collaboration of Nairobi jazz musicians collaborating with musicians from Malindi, so traditional music from Malindi, some really, really sweet mzes, playing into their instruments and that music coming together in a jazz style. And so those are the 2 bands, the Limericks and Mambo Tribe.
Mambo Tribe.
Mambo Tribe.
Wow.
Nice.
And that is where now my question comes in. The people you have talked about
Yes.
all seem very, very, very kitusuru kwa kina Jeff wote. But then Safaricom International Jazz Festival comes back to support the Ghetto Classics.
Correct.
Why was that?
Because we can do music for the sake of music. But one of the things that when the festival began was, what can we do that will create a legacy for the festival? So it's not just about the music, because eventually people will get tired of giving, because the festival is run on a series of partners. So we have partners who give their in kind. So in terms of audiovisual, hotels, flights, but they don't give just because of the music. They give because the proceeds of the festival, all the proceeds, go towards the Ghetto Classics. And so the Ghetto Classics is an initiative that began in Korogosho that teaches young children musical instruments and music after school. So it started with she had about maybe 10 students, and now we had about 600 students who come on the weekends and after school to come and learn how to play instruments. And so the proceeds from the festival, every ticket bought, the money goes directly to the Ghetto Classics to buy instruments, to pay tutors, to fix their space. And sometimes it goes beyond that to pay school fees and uniform. And if there's a trouble with a child, sometimes that family can be relocated. So it goes back to changing the lives of people through music. And so we hear great stories, and they're great stories of young musicians, young students who say, if it wasn't for music, I'd be out in the dump. But I come to St. John's, which is where the program is held, to play my instrument. I want to come and play the violin. I want to come and learn how to play the recorder. I want to come and sing. And that's what the Jazz Festival, the legacy for the Jazz Festival, is that it goes to changing a life of a child. And so now we've even expanded. We have a program in Mombasa. We're teaching students in Mombasa music as well. And hopefully we'll be going to Kisumu. So, to play Ohangla.
Very good.
Yes.
Ohangla and violin.
Violin.
I will be the patron.
Will you really? I will remember. I'll call you.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please.
Jolanga, do you play any instruments?
Yeah.
The radio. He plays the radio. But you could be surprised. You never know.
You never know.
There's this instrument called Oruto. Do you know Oruto?
Oruto.
One string instrument. It's a string instrument.
One sound.
One sound. So I will not sing for now.
Thank you.
I will preserve it
for another time.
For the launch of the Kisumu Jazz.
Coach Kaputa, do you see out of these ghettos, out of the slums, do you see one kid, one child, one becoming a superstar one day? Can they make it?
Yes, because they have dedication, and for them, the instrument becomes their life. And so one of the greatest success stories is one of the children has become he likes to conduct orchestras, and so he's had an opportunity now to go and study in Europe to be a conductor. So I guess it depends on what you're looking at in terms of what is a superstar. But we're going to nurture the talent and allow them to come to themselves. But from when we began 5 years ago, children who began playing with us 5 years ago and where they are today, the growth is leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And so it's just allowing them now to come into themselves. And yeah, we're looking forward to having some fantastic superstars, whether they'll be jazz musicians or not, whether they'll end up being Ohangla musicians, whatever they decide. But that music has pushed them to become that.
Have you seen the crowds also grow throughout the years?
Yes. Yes.
So there's more interest?
Yes, there is. We began with one festival in February, and we always used to do a February event. And people said to us, why are you only doing February? So we said, okay, we're going to add another show within the year. So we have the big festival, which is multi-day in February. And then we've added what we call a jazz lounge. So this event in November is what we're calling a jazz lounge. So now we have 3 events. And then last year, people said it's not enough. It's too long. February, then August, then November. So they said, why don't you do something else? And we said, you know what? We're a jazz festival. Let's celebrate International Jazz Day. So there is a jazz day, and it's actually gazetted by UNESCO. And so now we have 4 events a year. And so the numbers have grown. So we started our first event, we had about 6,000 people on the February. And now during the year, we're getting about 15,000 cumulative over the years. And so the festival is huge. It's huge. And people who come even from other countries, usually like the country partners are like, this is a lot of people. Yeah. So like tomorrow's event, we're looking at getting about 2,500 people who come out to listen to music. And it's a lovely thing.
What time do gates open?
6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, there's a fantastic experience. There are vendors, you can take pictures, you can buy drinks, you can, the experience tomorrow will be themed around both the Senegalese and Kenyan as well as Indian cultures that are being brought together at the festival. So you can even get like some henna done. You can take some fantastic pictures, hang out with people. And then the show starts at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shalas, there will be some jollof rice as well. All the way from Senegal.
Oh, jollof.
Jollof.
I thought jollof is Nigeria.
It stretches. There's Nigerian, there's Ghanaian, and there's Senegalese. It depends on the pepe. The pepe.
Pepe.
Yeah, it's better than pepe.
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 Yeah, so pepe and
Yeah.
Wow.
pepe.
By the way, Linkish says, wow, I'm happy. Korogosho is my former hood. Thank you for doing a great job.
With them, yeah.
Well done, well done.
Wow.
The best thing, what Kenyan musicians can benefit from exposure to these international artists? What is it that they can benefit from?
So one thing is, with what we found over the years is you get to share a stage with an international musician. So the level of musicianship has increased. Not that they weren't great musicians, but now when you're going to play against David Sanborn, who I think he has 7 Grammys. He's been touring. He's now 72, I think.
Well.
Yeah, and he's still playing and still sounding really good. Our musicians have also sort of stepped up. And I think one of the things for me that I really love about the festival is it's made jazz cool. It's cool. It's not just about like Jalanga is saying about Kitusuru people. Jazz is for everybody. Jazz is for everybody. So there are songs that people know, but they don't know they're jazz. In fact, as you were reading the story earlier, I thought you guys need like a jazz soundtrack, you know?
Todo sobre.
Yeah, I needed like a really cool jazz soundtrack.
Yeah.
But there's music people know, they don't know is jazz, or they listen to it and they're like, oh, I actually really like that. But it's an issue of exposure. So the exposure that it's had in Kenya is helping also bring the musicians of jazz musicians up. So a lot of us play and it's been great. A lot of the establishments have allowed us to play there, but now we are on an international stage. So the first sort of continuing jazz festival, it's consistent. Safaricom and the partners have come together to continually do it every year. Wow. And we're looking to keep doing it.
Yeah, so, speaking of sounds of jazz, let's just listen a little bit to Kavita Shah.
Yes.
Here in collab with Lionel Loweke.
Yes. Oju
Oba. Listen to that.
Join the world of Viewsasa Entertainment and enjoy the videos you love. SMS the word Viewsasa to 40984. Choose your preferred package plan. Select the amount for your chosen package plan, then click Next. Viewsasa, connecting you to the videos you love.
It's the Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jalango.